thính đại đức tặng thính, vị thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh thuyết diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô San Ân Thô Su Chê Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Mèo San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạc Đạc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Mèo Tam Mô Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou ci yuan jie Ru Lai Chân Shư Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master Shenhua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Meitofo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thánh Lương Đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 7th of March 2025. We're here at Way Mountain Temple to discuss the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you're all here. All right, we're on slide 1293. He's explaining about the Xian Shou classification of the Dharma. Great Master Xian Shou is the main Dharma master who was very good at classifying the Buddha's teaching, and he's behind the Avatamsaka Sutra explanations as well. So, yes, YouTube has a question.
네, 김예송님 질문입니다. 김예송님 질문입니다. 자애심을 기르려면 어떻게 해야 하나요?
Song cannot hear you. Still, we cannot hear you.
Okay, work on that. Just a reminder, Great Master Xian Shou divided the Buddha's teaching into 5 types. First one is small vehicle teaching. Second one is inertial teaching. Yeah, I think you should know, should hear about this terminology. Consider yourself to be very lucky. I read it 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Couldn't understand anything. Okay, now we're going through this for your sakes. Initial teaching, great vehicle. 3 is final teaching. 4th is sudden teaching. We are at this section right now. So remember, first one is small vehicle. That's what he used to teach the human beings initially, to bring them over. It's sort of like an appetizer, you will. Number 2, initial teaching, he introduces them to the big vehicle as contrast to small vehicle. Beginning is the beginning of the big vehicle, the great vehicle. Number 3 is final teaching. I think final teaching. Yeah, final teaching is the completion of the rest of the big vehicle, and 4 is a sudden teaching. Sudden teaching is something that the Tiantai school did not have for classification. So this is a difference between Great Master Xianshou classification versus Master Tutor classification from the Tiantai school. All right? You should know about these concepts. These are important for you later on. Yes, DTT.
맞서 제가 지난주에 화엄경에 질문이 있었고요. 그게 슬라이드 넘버는 1290 슬라이드에 관한 질문이 있어요. 네, 한번 끊을게요, 사무수님. 사무수님 안 들려요. 한국어 통역에선 들리는데 영어 전체적으로 사무수님 목소리는 들리지 않아요. 참고해 주세요.
Master, I have a question about the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's about slide 12090. 11290.
네. 그
129 what? 98?
129.
129.
1290.
Okay.
슬라이드 1290의 내용이 어떤 거였냐면 첫 번째 오교류라고 말하는 것은 네, 맞아요. 첫째가 질문하겠습니다. 그러면 슬라이드가 나왔으니까 제 질문은 뭐냐면 여기에 나와 있는 첫 번째 소승부터 시작해서 5번째 원교라고 되어 있는데 그것이 혹시 약간 좀 더 하위 레벨의 상위 레벨의 그런 진화된 순서대로 나열한 건지가 첫 번째 질문이었고요.
The first question, we classify 5 types. Is it the order is according to the progression, according to the advance of the teaching?
Yes, over time. Yes. Primarily, yes.
그리고 제가 두 번째 질문은 뭐였냐면 소승교에서 시작해서 대승으로 갔다가 이제 마스터께서 강조하시는 돈교와 이제 원교는 이해가 가는데 세 번째 종교를 어떻게 제가 이해해야 되는지 그게 두 번째 제 질문입니다.
I understand. I think I know about the 4th and 5th types of teaching, but I don't know how to understand the third one, the final teaching. Could you please explain?
The final teaching is once he got the initial teaching, the great vehicle, he will go into more details later. Okay, the final teaching will be clear a little bit later. Okay, this is just a beginning, the initial explanation. Okay, if it's still not clear a little bit later, you can ask again. Anything else? Okay, so let's go back to 1292. 4 sudden teaching. Yes, 9.
There's a YouTube question. Rutong is asking about the difference, why we changed principle to doctrine on the opening verse.
No, doctrine sounds more formal. Principles is not as elegant. I'm vain. As you get older, I'm more vain. I reveal my weaknesses. style is becoming important. It's over substance. Okay? All right, certain teaching. This section here, consider ourselves very lucky because this is kind of exposure that you read casually. You probably don't understand what's going on, but I'm here to help you have a deeper impression of the Buddha's teaching. Okay, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. Okay, It's sudden because it's sudden. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just out of the blue. Okay, of immediate penetration and enlightenment. Meaning you're working so hard and all of a sudden something wonderful happens. It's called enlightenment. So this is what's so important about the Buddha's teaching, and in particular, the training you undergo. We know the recipe, we understand the process because it's work for countless people already, everywhere in the universe. So that's why this recipe here will enable you, especially in Mahayana only, in great vehicle only, can you experience certain teaching, certain enlightenment, okay? And certain enlightenment is not spelled out for you. Certain teaching, certain enlightenment is usually given from one person to another, whether you hear it or actually it's addressed to you specifically. That's why I keep on telling you. It's very important. We spent so much time the last 20 years to speak Dharma to you because that's part of the sudden teaching. You need to listen to the Dharma. That's a difference, okay? Whereas Hinayana, you can retire by yourself to anywhere in the world, whether it's mountain, whether it's valley, whether it's your house, your room, and you by yourself and you meditate and you do it, it's you will not be privy to the sudden teaching. That's why I stress to you when you meditate and when you are walking or whatever working, if possible, listen to the Dharma because that's part of the sudden teaching training. All right? And that's why we speak Dharma so much to you. Because of the nature of Mahayana teaching, the essence of Mahayana teaching is sudden. All right? Yeah. And you never know when it's going to happen. That's why you keep on listening to the Dharma over and over again. Okay? And ask questions about things that you're not clear, you're not curious about. You'll be amazed. All right? This is what's available to you. And this is also why we allow you to ask questions about anything at any time. All right? I hope this will continue after I'm done. Traditionally, you have to cultivate step by step. He says here, first take refuge. Master Shenhua took the time to explain this to you. 95% of it is fantastic. This is why I take the time to go through this with you, because I find it's very useful. And you notice in the past that sometimes I gloss over things because I happen to disagree with the way he teaches. Not that he teaches wrong, I just have felt that the way he taught in those sections that I disagree with is more geared towards a different kind of audience. You are different from his disciples. Okay, but this applies. This is very, very good. Okay, so traditionally you have the first take refuge, and then next precepts, and then more precepts, and culminating with Bodhisattva precepts and Bhikshu precepts and so forth. Okay, and so that's called gradual teaching. You go step by step, okay? Whereas certain teaching is no such a sequence, and it will be clearer a little bit later, okay? Just listen to this for now. I want you to be exposed to the concept first, okay? And then, next one, 1293. And he says, 6 patriarchs is an example, okay? He, as soon as he heard one of his customers say that one should produce a mind or a thought that dwells nowhere. When he heard it, he had an awakening. Even though he never studied Buddha Dharma before, even though he never could cultivate before, and he had a sudden awakening. All right, and be clear a little bit later. Okay, the information is fantastic. Okay, just listen and absorb. Okay, and so this is as you see here. This is why Master Xinhua spent time explaining sutras. I spend a lot of time explaining sutras to you, even though I don't spend as time explaining as many sutras, but I go into greater depths for you. So different styles here, but with the emphasis is still the same. We want to elaborate on the Dharma for you, and that's the certain teaching. I put especially more emphasis on a certain teaching because of the level of your level is quite different, quite higher than his. So that therefore the emphasis on a certain teaching from our part. Okay? And that's why when you listen to the Dharma, his Dharma, you can attain certain enlightenment as well as my Dharma, even though mine is more focused, more higher concentration, higher percentage of certain teaching than his. Again, because of the nature of the audience, his students. Okay? I have the luxury because of teaching you more advanced Dharmas, not only because I know more than he does, he knows a lot more than I do, but because of you. You are ripe for the certain teaching. Okay? And and 5 is a perfect teaching, which is the total unobstructed interpenetration of perfect Bodhi, perfect enlightenment. Okay? And meaning that this is a state of a Buddha. Before that, he's talking about enlightenment only, which is the same as Buddha's enlightenment, but now he adds more. He says, "This you need to know more about this enlightenment, especially of the Buddhas." All right? And this perfect enlightenment here, when you teach at this level here, and what he says is very, very important. He said, at this level, however you speak, is perfect teaching. Remember, when he first started in the small vehicle teaching, it has to be logical to you. It has to make sense to you. Now, at the perfect teaching, it doesn't have to make sense to you anymore. Sounds familiar? Huh? You left home people? I've been beating into your head. It does not have to make sense to you. What is that? Now you understand. It's perfect teaching. You're not impressed. It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to this for 20 years. It's like, and when I talk Dharma to you, it's like talking to cattle. Okay? Or talking to rocks. When a perfect person speaks excuse me. When a perfect person speaks the Dharma, no Dharma is not perfect. Why is it not then perfect? What kind of nonsense is this English thing here? Okay? Both the teaching and the person are perfect. So at every point, one can find the way. Remember, again, you go from Hinayana, which has to be logical, has to make sense to you. Okay? You graduate to Mahayana, you said, it's not about making sense anymore, it's about helping others. Not helping yourself, like you. Especially Caucasians, Western educated people are so used to do. And now the Asians are also climbing on the bandwagon as well. You only want to benefit yourself because that's all you can see. Okay? Mahayana is about helping others. We help you help yourself already with Hinayana. Okay? And you have to switch gear. You have to switch to helping others. Okay? And we guide you to help others. And we remind you. And this is why I call, even when you get to Mahayana, I still call them or you, many of you, Hinayana, Mahayana, because your mindset is still on helping yourself. Okay? When you get to perfect teaching, okay, then everything is the way. That's why these idiots over there, Master Shuya disciples, they stuck on Hinayana, Mahayana, because they only said, my teacher says so and so. Therefore, his teaching is what we cultivate. And that's why I encourage you to get out from under my shadow eventually. Because the perfect teaching is that even though it doesn't make sense, it's still the Dharma. That's why idiots are stuck on the Dharma of the teachers. I'm teaching you about it does not have to make sense to you. Why? Because when a perfect person speaks the Dharma, no Dharma is not perfect. Can you see the difference? Master Shuha taught my generation already, but Hinayana, Mahayana people don't get it. You understand? We read the same materials. We study for the same materials. They had the luxury of listening to him in person. I never did. Okay? I listened to him once when I was a lay person, and I stood way in the back of the room, sat way in the back of the room in front of me because I want to observe everyone. Okay? And this is at ITT, International Translation Institute, or whatever. And so I sat at the last row, and in front of me, there were a couple of his monks and nuns. They all were dozing off. I was being manic. I was looking at them, wow, look at these people. Their own master spoke Dharma to them, and they're bored to death. I said, wow, what kind of people is that? And Master Shenhua, you know what he did? He looked at them, because I saw him looking at them, and he did nothing. Why? Because the perfect Dharma does not need an audience. Got it? All right. Okay, so the emphasis here is when the perfect person, the person who has perfect wisdom, speaks the Dharma, anything and everything is perfect. Isn't that liberating for you? See, we've been confined to, I need to, I cannot do that. I cannot burn a sutra with a piece of paper has Buddha written on it. Now you go with perfect teaching, burn. What do you care? What do we care? Got that? There's a way to burn it without getting in trouble, of course. When you burn indiscriminately because you're stupid, then you get in trouble. In perfect teaching, you know how to burn it. That's why you can burn. Got it? The Buddha laid out these rules and regulations to help idiots. Okay? Because idiots get in trouble. But that's only half of the teaching. That's why you need the perfect teaching eventually. Then Buddhism is complete. Master Hsuan taught this already, but the students did not get it. This is why I have to explain it and put more emphasis for you. It's there already. In the back, is there a question in the back?
Master, the sentence say, when a perfect person speaks the Dharma, no Dharma is not perfect. Who is this perfect person? Who is the person that qualified to be called perfect? When
that person is perfect, that's all you need to know. This perfect person, when he's a perfect person, whatever Dharma he speaks is perfect. And I've just told you, Master Hsuan is a perfect person. That's all you know. If you don't know, it's your problem. All right? It's supposed to open your mind. Because his students are stupid. I'm not mincing words here. They're stupid. All they can see is all these things he taught. They thought they understood everything. That's why I want to point out to you, I have nothing against them. I hope I use the word strong words because I want to emphasize that you do not want to make the same mistakes. Okay? They hang on and say, he's the wisest. I don't have his wisdom, therefore I need to, he's my world. All my knowledge is based on his teachings. But what you don't understand with that fallacy, that kind of thinking, the fallacy in that kind of thinking is that the teaching is perfect, the person is perfect, but you're not perfect. That's why you don't understand. Got it? You idiots. That's who you are. Know who you are. Okay? Yes, in the back.
Master, is there any criteria that we can see if the person is perfect?
You stupid. How can you see a perfect person?
That's why I wanted to...
You stupid. How can you understand the perfect Dharma? All you can do right now is says, I need to follow this path here. Okay? The teaching there. Because that's the best way for me to get to perfect. But once you get the perfect, what do? I dump it. Got it? This is a pathway for you to get there. Yes, it's the foundation, it is a proper path. Yes, Buddha taught so. But once you get there, you have to let go. Only idiots who hang on and say, no, I'm violating them. I'm not doing like he does. He's teaching to idiots like you. Next, he could say something basically unreasonable, but it would turn out to have principle that is very meaningful. It's simply you don't understand the principle behind it. An example, in Chinese school, it's not okay to hit someone unless you want to get sued. But if you can see the wrong as right, then it can help you. Just about made it. The translation here, I don't have the Chinese original, I don't care. Okay, but it shows you right here, it doesn't matter what the original Chinese is, the English does not make sense. It's confusing. If you can see the wrong as right, then I can help you. How can I help you? Your skill has just about made it. Okay? It shows right there that the translation team, all the translators could not understand what he meant in Chinese. Okay? And he knows it. He knew it. So he didn't bother correcting it. You got it? There's no point. They're too limited. There's no point. This is the best they can be. Again, I'm not being derogatory. I just want to be factual from my perspective. You may disagree with me. You may think I'm have a grudge against them. Yeah, I do. But you're not wrong. But the point here is that maybe I don't. You never know. Maybe if I happen to be a perfect person, then my grudge is perfectly justified. If I'm not a perfect person, walk away. Don't listen to my nonsense. Yes, 9.
Rutang is asking at what level a person can do the perfect teaching. For instance, can an arhat teach the perfect teaching?
No, it can't. When you get the perfect teaching, then you know. It's not meant for you to know, oh, that's perfect. No, it's not perfect. I just point out to you for your sakes, that's all. Because many of you are at the level, and probably this lifetime will never be able to pass the levels. Okay? Even at their impressive levels, and Master Hsuan felt he deemed them okay to be called heirs to his Dharma, okay? They still have not reached the perfect Dharma yet. They have not been able to reach a perfect teachings level of his Dharma yet. I'm saying it for you and for them, those of you who really believe in this, to understand that don't be so full of yourself. There's a reason why I call you idiot, because you are stupid. That's all you need to know. So be more humble. But so instead of saying you can see wrong or right, and again, this is a style of explanation in Chan, which I beginning to differentiate myself in style of Chan explanations, because mine is more Western for Western educated people. His is probably more for Chinese people. Yes, ETT.
네, 마스터 예전에 마스터께서 화엄경 강의 초반 하실 때 각 보살의 단계를 설명하시면서 7지 보살인지 8지 보살이 자제하는 경계를 얻는다고 하셨었어요. 네.
Master, in the beginning of the lecture of the Avatamsaka Sutra, Master explained the stage of Bodhisattva. And then 7th or 8th ground Bodhisattva, they attain the self-mastery.
그러니까 제가 궁금한 건 이 자제, 걸림없는 자제가 원교를 배울 수 있는, 그러니까 상황 다시 할게요. 그러니까 제가 궁금한 포인트는 이 원교를 배울 수 있는 또는 원교를 가르칠 수 있는 그 단계가 이 자제와 관련이 있는 건지 일단 첫째 그게 궁금하거든요. 네.
So the stage that we can learn the perfect teaching, is it related with the self-mastery?
You should not be concerned about it yourself personally. You have quite a climb ahead of you. So I tend not to indulge in answering those types of questions because they're not helpful to you. They only confuse you more. And it will confuse a lot of people like you, or even better than you. When I speak here, I'm addressing all of you, including the perfect ones as well as the non-perfect ones. Okay? And I don't want to give you too much information. It sounds unpleasant because it's a plain truth. Someone has to tell you, you're not perfect. I put it, you're an idiot, wake up. You're not as good as you think you are. You're not as important as you think you are. Wake up.
마스터, 제가 궁금한 거는
Don't waste your life. Don't waste your teachers' time and teachings. It's so important. Okay? It's beyond you, so don't. I'm not going to pursue your line of thinking. Yes, YouTube.
네, 김예송님 질문입니다. 자애심은 어떻게 개발할 수 있나요?
This question is from Yesong Kim. How can I develop kindness and compassion?
Our whole approach about cultivation, our spiritual path in particular in our community, is to eventually develop your kindness and compassion. Everything is geared towards that. So as long as you're part of this community, you will continue to develop and evolve accordingly. All right? The way I would explain this, going back to slide 1295, to hit and score someone, is, I forgot how to explain it, but the way he talked right here is just too much talking. Okay? Sometimes in the Chan school, we need to scold you. It's like a shock treatment. We need to hit you because it's a shock treatment, which works more often than you realize, especially for low-level people. Okay? The analogy is that when you are asleep and you following your dreams, and sometimes we need to take some cold water and dump it on your face. That's called shock treatment. It's wah! And you wake up right away. Sometimes in a Chan school, we resort to violence to wake you up. Okay? So it's nothing about right and wrong. It's not about your skill. It's about what we do to wake you up. In the Linji school, they beat you up, they punch you, they kick you, they yell at you. They do something physical to you. That's what happened in Linji school. And it works very well. Up to a certain level. All right? That's why it's popular now. Linji school is very popular because most people's potential is very low. It doesn't work for many Weiyang level people. It doesn't work at all. Okay? In a perfect teaching, so that's why he says an example, it sounds unreasonable, it sounds violent, it sounds nonsensical, it seems nonsensical, but actually it's very effective. And it's necessary to speed up your awakening. Because why? Because you asked for it. Don't think we give it out indiscriminately. I give it to you because that's what you want, where you want to reach, where you want to go. You don't want to go there. Why should I waste my energy and my time forcing you into something that you don't want? It's your problem. You think that the Chan teachers are crazy about beating you up, about scolding you, about making you feel bad about yourself? We have zero interest in doing that, because doing that does not make us feel any better, more superior in any way at all. It's a wake-up call for you. In the perfect teaching, nothing's lacking. Remember, I use Master Shenhua, great Master Shenhua, as an example. He says he started by teaching the proper. Okay? You look at the scope of his work is all proper. Yes, follow the rules and regulations. He never taught about improper, which is the other side of perfect teaching. Got it? Sometimes it's better, it's faster for you to use the improper route than proper. If you're weak, you have to use proper. You're confused, you have to use proper. If you have wisdom already, improper is faster. That's why perfect teaching is perfectly balanced. Got it? And he calls it as total, complete, as the moon and so forth. Yes, go forest. I'm not angry, by the way. I'm just excited.
A lot of pressure, Master. May I ask, what is the improper? Can you give an example?
This example right here. It's improper to hit someone.
Okay, but you said that's for the weak people.
I'm sorry?
But you said that's for the weak people. And then the improper you mentioned is for the people with wisdom.
Weak people are the ones that have weak moments more often than people who have wisdom. People who have wisdom also have moments of weaknesses. Yeah? That's what we use those moments of weaknesses to help them uncover the wisdom a lot faster. Yeah. Never mind.
Okay, just hit all of us. That's it. Okay, thank you.
No way. I'm not giving you a chance to sue me. Forget it. Yes, go Forrest. Okay. Total complete the moon and the moon when it's full. You see that? The Buddha Dharma is both good and evil. You better excel at good first and perfect at good first before we can teach you about evil. That's called the complete teaching. By the way, who's the teacher who does it? Great Master Shenhua. It's right here. I'm only giving examples of his teaching when I beat you, when I scold you, when I abuse you. It's to show you examples, okay? But it's part of his teaching. Got it? Where else can you find this perfect teaching? Where? Do you know? You don't? That means nowhere. I rest my case. How do you know it's perfect? It's the question you should be asking. How do you know it's perfect? A person who's scolding you, another person scolding you. Which one is perfect? Which one is affliction? You want to think about it? Okay, I come back next week and we can discuss it more. You talk it over among yourselves, okay? How do you know? Yes, go Forrest.
Master, wasn't this Hang's question earlier? Like, we don't know, right? How can we know?
Okay, I borrow your question. I don't care. I'm not going to claim credit. I can't care less who has a credit. Yes, anyone else? DTT.
Master, I think we know because which one is perfect or not perfect, that is the result of the person who get the teaching.
The results of the person who gets the teaching. Which results? Can you elaborate a little bit on the results?
So it can, if the teaching, the imperfect teaching is good, if it can get the person who get taught to wake up.
How do you know?
That person, only that person know. Other doesn't know.
What about the rest of us?
It doesn't apply to other person.
Yeah, none of your business is the answer.
Yes.
Who's trying to impress you, huh? You think this perfect teaching is designed to impress you? You say, oh, now Hong's going to tell everyone, he's a perfect teacher. He has perfect teaching. Did they know that Master Xinhua gave the perfect teaching 50 years ago here in this prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra? No. No one knew. Until today, I'm told you. Very good. Yes, 9.
There's a reply from Diego that we can find it in the sutras and in the teachings of some patriarchs.
No. What patriarchs is the question? Yes, DTT. Oh no.
마스터, 제가 질문하려고 했던 게 그건데 잘렸는데 이게 원교라고는 하지만 이게 완전한 가르침인 건지 아니면 막행막식 하는 건지 우리가 알 수가 없기 때문에 네.
Master, this is what I wanted to ask to you. We don't know whether it's a perfect teaching or whether it's not perfect teaching.
네, 그렇기 때문에 제가 이게 자제와 보살의 단계인 자제의 단계와 관련이 있는 건지 도대체 어떤 레벨에서 원교를 설할 수 있고 어떤 레벨에서 원교를 가르침을 받을 수 있는 건지를 제가 질문 드렸던 건였던 거거든요. 아까.
So is it related with the Bodhisattva self-mastery? And what level of Bodhisattva can they teach the perfect teaching? And then when they can get bit taught?
I give an example. Master Xu Yun, Master Xinhua's predecessor, does he give perfect teaching? You think? Does he have perfect teaching? Answer is no. That's why Master Hsuan had to cultivate elsewhere. He cannot practice under Master Hsu Yun. No need to practice under Master Hsu Yun. Got that? How many patriarchs have certain teaching? Is the next question. Does current one have it? Yes, I'm sure you're in the back of your mind. Does his current patriarch, does he have it? Of course not. Otherwise, he would have announced himself as a patriarch already. It's your job to teach it, not hide. If you have it, you must teach it. Does it help? I'm trying to help you understand where not to look. That's all you got. You go to Hinayana country, will there be perfect teaching? Answer is no. Even you go to Mahayana teachings, like in China during the times of Master Hsu Yun, there's no perfect teaching there. Certain teaching actually very slow, because he advocated Huatou. Anyone who teaches Huatou is slow certain teaching. You got it now? Yes, DTT.
마스터 죄송한데 그러니까 제가 궁금한 건 이 원교가 걸림이 없는 거다, 뭐 선악이 없다라고 하는데 제가 궁금한 건 도대체 그 걸림이 없는 것과 우리가 선지식으로서 뭐 막행 막식을 하는 건지를 어떻게 구분할 수 있는지, 우리가 어떻게 그렇게 대처해야 된다고 해야 되나? 그걸 어떻게 할 수 있는지가 제가 그렇기 때문에 제가 레벨을 질문 드렸던 거거든요.
Master, I'm sorry, but how can you recognize whether the perfect teaching is really really self-mastery, or whether it's really doing something with affliction? How can you recognize it?
You can't. Okay, that's all you have. All you have is where not to look, where it's not. That's all you have. Yes, 9.
From YouTube, Zhihong says, if Master Hsu Yun does not have the sudden teaching, then he could not have the perfect teaching.
No, he has certain teaching, a very slow certain teaching. Certain teaching has different gradations.
And Diego says, Amitofo Master, from what I've heard from my good knowing advisor, Venerable 6th Patriarch and Master Hsuan-Hua, I guess, are the ones who do have the perfect teaching.
Yes, Master 6 Patriarchs is far more advanced, certain and perfect teaching of Master Hsuan-Hua. No two ways about it. Okay? There's gradations.
We also have a different question from NorCal Daniel. He has a personal question. He says, Master, there's a wave of challenges at work and school right now, and on top of that, I can't make it to the temple. Because of these challenges and my unsatisfaction with myself, I feel ambitious to improve myself more and more. Is there any advice for me on how to navigate these times right now?
Try your best. That's all you got. 1296. The first is the equivalent of the Tiantai Store's teaching.
初级天台藏教.
See, prior section is just an overview Now it goes into a little bit more detail, which is nice. Okay, great exposure for us. The small vehicle teaching, okay, is equivalent of the store's teaching in Tian Tai. These are the jargons that you should be exposed to and should know. It's good for you. It's your Buddhist wisdom, and so it's the same thing. So the small vehicle, Master Xian Shou, I like it because he spells it out. He's not polite. Okay, he says small vehicle. Whereas Tian Tai is more polite. He says store's teaching. Okay, small vehicle that tells you that, yeah, it's like a small Dharma for what? Small minds. It's not derogatory. It's because if you encounter people who are firm believers in small vehicle, you know you can go so far. Don't overdo it. Got it? Next. 1298. 2. This initial teaching is also called the divisional teaching. That is because the deep secret second and third teaching periods together allow that neither category of those whose natures are fixed in either one of the two vehicles accomplishes Buddhahood. They now are therefore joined to form a single teaching.
2. 始教者，一名分教，以生密第二。第三实教，同许定性二圣具不成佛。
I'm trying to understand the semantics here. They now are therefore joined to form a single teaching. It's kind of klutzy, no? I'm trying to look at the Chinese here. 同许定性 okay, 具不成佛 How come the Chinese is not there? The Chinese text is missing? No? Listen here. They now are therefore joined to form single teaching. Where is the text? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious about translation. That's all. 1299. So a small vehicle is the first teaching. It's Xian Shou's school, the store's teaching. All right? So that's the difference. All right? Number 2. 2, initial teaching of the great vehicle. With it, great vehicle's sutra begin. Since it is the initial door to great vehicle and forms a boundary between small and great vehicle, it is also called the divisional teaching. Isn't it clear? So that's why the number 2, this is initial teaching of the great vehicle. I was confused when I first read it because I knew about the Tian Tai school classification. So when we went to Xian Shou, there's confusion here. Okay, so it clarifies it for all of us that initial teaching is actually the initial beginning teaching of the great vehicle. Also called divisional teaching because it's a boundary between the small vehicle versus the great vehicle. All right? Next, 1300. That is in addition because of the Deep Secret Sutra, second and third teaching periods. Okay. So he's quoting another scripture, Deep Secret Sutra, which has in there and mentioned the second, third teaching periods and so forth. Don't worry about it. Okay. So the small vehicle doesn't teach people how to become Buddhas. So the minds are very, very small because they help themselves. In order for you to become Buddhas, you need to shift paradigm, switch gear, and go into helping others, learning how to help others. Got that? 1301. They neither seek the Buddha way above, nor do they transform living beings below. And that's why Buddha calls them sterile seeds and withered sprouts. 焦芽败种. And so, 败种 is sterile seeds, I guess. 焦芽 is withered or it's been burned up. Okay, the sprout came out and it's been withered. Okay, but 焦芽 here also has the context of heat. You apply heat to it. Okay, you ruin the sprout instead of nurturing it. You ruined it. Okay. And there's no Buddhahood to seek, below is no living beings to save, and that this is the mindset of self-serving people. Yes, we are all self-serving. This is why Mahayana understands that. That's why the teaching is you have beginning, initial teaching, final teaching, and so forth, to help you navigate and condition you and shift your paradigm. It takes time. You need to hear it. You need to hear it's more advantageous to you. Look around you. The people who shifted gear already, who switched already, they're far better off than you. Speak from facts. We don't simply talk and talk and talk and talk. We got there, we've done it, now we tell you about it. You, like Jumi, wants to hear about it, but not spend enough time learning how to get there. Mahayana is doing. Okay? What is doing is persevering in spite of difficulties. It's hard for you to drive to the temple. You don't have time. It's too far. It's too cold. That's Mahayana. It's not supposed to be comfortable. Okay? And when you do that, wonderful things happen. In particular, many of you come to the temple, like in Korea, in special in Korea and WMT, you look at our left home people and say, what kind of left home people is that? Let me give you the answer. Those types of people are there to afflict you. And me. They drive me crazy. Why do you have to go up and down? Because I go down here, they drive me crazy. I go up there, they drive me crazy. That's why I bounce back and forth. Change the scenery. Okay? Next. They say, I'm just going to accomplish my own fruit position. That's it. Not passion, not paying attention to anyone else. What's the point in helping anyone else? It's no real benefit to me because these people are short-sighted. They only see benefits. small benefits. You don't see big gains. They can't see. They can't see very far. They believe anything that makes sense to them. It's appealing to them. So that's why we break that habit of yours by training you to endure. And it's not easy. You endure more and more and more and more. And wonderful things happen because you choose to endure. Instead of moaning and bitching and moaning like cry babies. Hey, Daniel, how's it going, dude? Okay? All right. The Deep Secret Sutra allows that neither of these two types accomplishes Buddhahood. And the Deep Secret says, these people who walk the Hinayana pathways, meaning the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas, if they stick to that path, that way of practice, they will never become Buddhas. It's very strong assertion. Okay? Someone has to tell them, just like someone like me has to tell them, you idiots. You're letting your master down. He taught so much here. And you don't understand as much as you think. Wake up. Let me slap you in the face. Love to. Okay, but don't sue me, idiots. So, they now are joined for a single teaching. Okay, so, doesn't matter. Okay, it's a lot of, here, it's scholarly, it doesn't matter. Okay, I want you to know enough for your own sake to continue to ascend higher. Okay, reach lofty altitudes. I want you to be exposed to the fact there are so much better places for you. Okay? Be patient. Endure! Yes, JC.
네, 마스터 경전과 관련 없는 질문인데요. 청년들에게 꿈을 가질 것을 독려하는 많은 성공한 사람들의 조언들이 있는데 그것을 학생들에게 가르쳐 주려고 하다가 성공은 다 복에서 오는 거라는 생각에 큰 목표를 가지고 큰 목표를 가져라. 그리고 괴테가 소원은 자신의 능력에 대한 예감이라 했던 글귀도 있었고요. 그래서 그런 것들이 맞는 말인지 궁금합니다. 괴테의 글 중에 소원은 자신의 능력에 대한 예감이라고 했어요. 그래서 그런 말들이 멋있고 또 성공한 사람들이 다 목표를 크게 가져라, 넌 할 수 있다 이런 말들을 하시니까 저 아이들에게도 얘기를 하려고 하다가 그게 과연 맞는 말인가 하는 생각에 질문 드려봅니다.
Master, this question is not related with the sutra. There are many advice from the successful people for the young adult. So they give some advice for them for the success. So I'm thinking about teaching about those things to my students. But I realized that success is coming from the blessing. So I told them to make a high aim. And then, is it okay to teach such a thing?
Yeah, you teach foundation. You teach foundation of goodness. The Korean culture is based on Confucian teachings. The young generations are abandoning that. So you should bring back to the Confucius teaching and teach things that emphasize goodness. Okay? Build a foundation. Don't worry about success. Success comes later, naturally, when you deserve it. Okay? As a teacher, the first thing you need to take care of is people's foundation. Why I teach you about enduring is because part of that is your foundation. Though you still hear, even though I yell and scream and abuse you, and it's because you have the foundation. Don't have the foundation, you'd be gone already. Okay? So, don't worry about it. Since your children, your students are still young, you should teach them about right and wrong first. Don't worry about success. Okay? Right and wrong, teach them about getting education. It's very important. Try the best. Those are the value systems you need to instill in the students. When others taught about success, it's a sales pitch. There's nothing you can do. Okay? They need to have something appealing so that the parents are willing to pay for the special courses and get advices from them. That's okay. But it cannot replace the foundation of righteousness, right and wrong. Okay? And it's not just words. You, as a teacher, need to catch them. If they misbehave, they're not behaving properly, you have to catch them and gently guide them again. Because we have bad habits, we don't know. In the heat of the moment, we don't know. That's your job, to help rectify them, point out to them their mistakes. All right? There's plenty of things right there. The teaching is very simple. Be good, do good. Don't do any evil. And you have plenty of chances to reinforce that. Okay? And success will come later. But what's the point in having success if you feel not good inside? You become alcoholic. You do drugs because you don't like yourself. You need external things to feel better about yourself. Because you don't like yourself at all. That's sad. Parents and teachers never taught the children the fundamentals. You need to do things so that you have to like yourself first. Don't worry about others liking you. Like yourself. You have to like yourself fundamentally. You cannot let your girlfriend dictate your life. Just because she likes you and she's confused like hell, it's not a good sign. Okay? Yes, go first.
Master, for your information, I asked ChatGPT about the translation, why there was that English sentence that seems to be appearing out of nowhere. And then it did research for me, and they found that in the C beta version, there's an actual phrase that was dropped in the slide. So that's why. So the Chinese was 故今何之总为一教. That's why there was a sentence of I'm looking at the slide, the previous one.
Yeah.
They now are therefore joined to form a single teaching. So there was a one.
Thank you.
So that part was
Find
dropped.
it. Oh, that's going to save a lot of time, huh? We need to subscribe to ChatGPT.
But I actually just took a picture of the slide and uploaded to ChatGPT and asked the question why the English translation seems to be dropping something. Seems to be having something the Chinese does not contain.
And how long did ChatGPT take to answer your question?
Less than 20 seconds, I would
20
say.
seconds?
Yeah.
You all fired. Okay, I'm going to subscribe to ChatGPT.
Sorry, that's not meant to be advertisement.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I will do some personnel reduction. Okay, great thing there. Yes, 9.
Diego says, Amitofo, Master, you've explained a little bit about this before, Master, that the sound hearer teachings and the Bodhisattva teachings in the end are but one, the path to reach Buddhahood. So are these, he quotes, these two become one. Is that what it's referring to on the slide?
No. It's a shift of paradigm. It's one like babies, you need to teach them how to walk, how to take care of themselves. And then as you get older, you need to teach them more and more and more and more. Well, the problem with our education is that after college there's no more teaching for you. You're all confused. Okay? Yeah. All right. Anything else? Okay, 1303. Because it does not yet exhaust the principle of great vehicle Dharma, it is therefore set up as first. Since it has those who do not become Buddhas, it is therefore termed divisional.
此即未尽大乘法理，故立为出。有不成佛，故名为分。
Okay, so you see, Master Jing Liang here explains the xian-shou thinking. Okay, so it's wonderful to have this kind of saving thing. I don't think ChatGPT will be able to do that. Okay, that's its limitation. However, but I think for how much? $20 a month? I'd fire half of you already. That's great savings. Okay. All right. We need to, instead of firing you, I switch you to more manual work. Okay? Like cutting the grass and, you know. Okay? Sorry. It's an age of efficiency. Doge at BLI. Okay, 1303. Because the initial teaching deals with these fixed nature sound hearers and conditionally enlightened ones. So it's like a transition. It says, you see, this is the nature of Buddha, the training. First you get interested, excited, and then you shift their orientation gradually, and that's what's called initial. Okay, first it says, oh, if you want success, then do this. You become an art. You be far superior to everyone else. But then, that's the small vehicle. Okay, like Rushu's competitor there. But then once you got there, and you say, now what? Those people who got there, the arhats and the sound hearers and the conditioned enlightened people who got there and say, now what do I do with my life? Okay, I'm I don't enjoy drinking anymore. I don't enjoy, smoking anymore, and so forth. What do I do? So those people are interested. Now the Buddha says, hey, there's more. Okay? I'll show you. That's called initial teaching. Okay? So, but that requires you to shift the paradigm again. Don't be so solely focused on yourself. In order for you to get to much higher rewards, you have to start shifting the paradigm to helping others. Got that? $13.05, even though the initially one again, so it's all codificational. There you go. You can read this. This doesn't interest me. It's too scholarly. Got that? I'll give you 30 seconds to read it. Read fast. You can't? It's available online for free. Are we ready? Are we ready? We're done. Thank you. See you next time.